I actually felt like a small part of me was dying inside
Oh no.
because I wasn't doing my business.
Hi, friends, and welcome to the Aspiring CMO podcast, where every week it is my privilege to sit down with successful content creators, entrepreneurs, and marketers to find out how they got where they are and what marketing strategies we can learn from them to grow our businesses, brands, and most importantly, ourselves. And today's guest is Catherine Newton, all the way from New Zealand. She used to be a university teacher and now she's a business coach for women. Her students have reached amazing results during her teaching in university, and now she encourages us to never give up on our dreams and keep working hard for our businesses.
How would you be showing up if you already had the results that you wanted?
Right.
What content would you be writing? How would you be feeling? You'd be feeling more bold, more audacious, more willing, more courageous. You would care less about what other people think.
So I hope you enjoyed this episode just as much as I did. And let's hear what Catherine has to say. Let's go. Introduce yourself and let us know who you are and how are you so awesome.
Oh, I'm Catherine Newton. I reside in New Zealand. And my favorite thing in the world is to help businesswomen on a mission to get really clear about their message and about what they're here to do without the struggle of uncertainty. And I use a lot of the tactics and tips that I learned in my years of teaching entrepreneurship at university, as well as my own business background. So it's bringing it all together and helping more women like you.
And before you started teaching, was your background mainly business or marketing? Like, what's the story behind that?
So I started my my career as a teacher. All I ever wanted to do was to be a teacher.
Wow.
Ever since I was 3 years old, and I remember going to school with my big sister. It was her first day of school, and I sat down the back of the classroom, and that's what I wanted to do. So I went home and I played with my dolls, and I lined them all up, and every day I would play school. So fast forward into when I left school, and I went straight to university and I got my degree, and then I set out on this international journey. So my teaching career has been at international schools, and while I was there, I spent a lot of time at one of the international schools I taught at was the International School of Beijing in China.
Mm-hmm.
And I was teaching all the expat and the diplomats kids, and in the weekends I was going out shopping, and I was going to all the markets and gathering trinkets and antiques and treasures. And I came back to New Zealand with my container and opened it up and I unpacked it into the house. Friends would come around and say, "Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Where did you get that?" And so I started to import, which was the start of my business career. So while I was teaching, I was also importing, doing my little side hustle.
Amazing. I love
And
that.
and that's where it started for me.
Mm-hmm. How did you end up becoming a lecturer in university? I think I wrote down university name is Uni of
Yeah.
Waikato. My,
So University of Waikato was where I got my degree. So I taught at I was a lecturer at the Auckland University of Technology, and that evolved because after my teaching career ended, and I was working full time as a consultant in business development. I got shoulder tapped by someone who had created a thesis on the paradox of innovation in business, and he needed someone who had a teaching background to help him to turn his thesis into a course that we could teach at university. And I had all of the qualifications to be able to do that. Examples about being in the right place at the right time.
mm-hmm.
And one of the pieces that I realized that I bring into the work that I do is about setting intentions. being really clear around where you want to go. And I always knew that I wanted to go big. I wanted to, I wanted to reach more people than I was just in my consultancy business. And so when I got the opportunity to co-create and write this course and then to teach it at university level, I absolutely said yes. I just knew it was the right thing to do. Mm.
In New Zealand, I went to an international school, an Australian international school for my BA, and
Oh, great.
yeah, the world is small. And I was very surprised because I was taking a international business major, and when I entered and I heard my older brother was asking me like, what are they going to teach you in business class? Like you do like business is when you actually sit down, do the thing. When
That's it.
you
Yeah.
when you go out and
Mm,
talk to people is not what's happening in the classroom. And I envision
absolutely.
entrepreneurship even more broad than business because
Yes.
entrepreneurship takes like kind of like self-development too in a way, I think.
It really is.
Yeah,
It's
right?
the fastest personal development you can possibly go on. And I absolutely agree with what you said around the fact that you can't teach business, you can't teach entrepreneurship in a classroom. You have to be doing. And it's one of the reasons why they wanted me to come on board was
Mhm.
because I was a practicing entrepreneur. I was in the trenches. I had my own business. I was running mastermind groups. I was running coaching programs. I was building my consultancy practice, and they wanted me because of that. And what happened was that this course became separate to the business school because of the fact that in the business school at the university, they wanted it all to be methodical, and they wanted to be theoretical and not necessarily going out there and running our own business. Whereas the course that we created was very much about, we're going to teach you this, but you're going to go out there and you're going to do it. You're going to practice building your business in real time. So it was very, very rewarding for me to take that angle.
That's fantastic. And how long were you teaching then? Was it hard to balance teaching in the classroom plus running your own business on the side? Like how was that?
It was actually really rewarding because what I could do was I could balance the university classes I was doing, and be using what I was doing in my own business as an example. So when I was trying a new organic social media strategy, for example, or when I was trying a new stories first came out on Instagram and Facebook, I was able to show in real time what I was doing
Mhm.
when I was updating aspects on my website, or when I was going and doing expos. I was really taking my students on the journey with me. And I think it's the natural teacher in me now. I really like to take my students, even the businesswoman on a mission I now work with, I take them on the journey to get them from where they are, even if it's just at startup mode, into learning how to follow the steps to create a six-figure business.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Do you
Mm.
still keep in touch with your students?
Yes, actually, I heard from one of my students just recently. She actually took me out for a glass of wine, which was lovely. uh, and uh, and she's old enough, and she actually was really grateful. She shared a story. She said that because of some of the questions that I had her answer during the course, she was able to take these legal steps, these certain legal steps, to make sure that she actually took care of herself in her business partnership. And she said, as a result, that has actually saved her a lot of money, and helped her to make some really valuable decisions. So it was really nice to hear that, yeah, that it's made a difference.
That's amazing. Now that I'm
Mm.
also like a college grad, I'm really
Yeah,
looking forward to
congratulations.
things to talk with my old lecturers or professors again.
Yeah, yeah.
Because just over a few years, I feel like I've become a whole different person. And talking to
Mm.
entrepreneurs like you, like each time I talk to you guys, I just get like a knowledge bomb, value bomb all the
Yes.
time.
That's
Yeah.
so good, isn't it? That's
Yes.
so good. Yeah. And look, the more that you take the opportunity of what you've learnt in your studies, and keep studying, keep training, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, I think, with us being educators, teachers, marketers, coaches, is that the more that we show up and the more that we continue to study and continue to train and continue to learn our craft, the better we get at it, right?
Like, what made you decide to not teach anymore and then start to 100% focus on your coaching business?
That's a really great question. And I sat with that recently when I was asked that question, and I realized actually that what I'm doing is I'm still teaching.
Yeah.
I'm still teaching. And I think that's one of the reasons why perhaps I fell into business coaching. The money activation that I do within my business is that I found that that my businesswoman who I was working with, they needed to be reminded, they needed to be educated, they needed to be trained on how to become more of a magnet for money, to be activated, to call in the money that they want in their business. And I realized that actually what they needed was they needed someone to teach them, to hold their hand, and to remind them that money loves money, and money loves speed of implementation, and money loves momentum. And it's about taking what I know and teaching my students. I still call them my students, my
Yeah.
clients, so that they can get there faster. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's so I feel very, very blessed that I still get to do what I love, which is ultimately the teaching side.
That's awesome.
Mm,
I frequently hear that you say money loves momentum, and
mm.
I think it's an interesting concept. But could you elaborate or tell me more on that? Like, what is that
Yeah,
momentum really?
absolutely. What often happens when we're starting our businesses is that we have a vision for what we want, right? So there's the intention. This is what I want, and what happens is that if you focus on what's available, on what's here right now, that's when the mind uh, and the body goes into doubt and into not believing it and feeling disappointed because you haven't got what you want. Whereas when you focus on what's possible, what happens is that you focus on the outcome that you want. You focus on the way that clients are finding you. You focus on and you see yourself in that place of creating what you already want, and you get excited from that place. So if you put yourself now into that place, right, where she is already receiving the money that she wants, she is already getting the clients that she wants, she's already making a difference, she's already getting people organically finding her through her marketing, that has a different energy to it than
Hmm.
thinking about where you are now. And
Yeah.
so when I talk about the fact that money loves momentum, it's like put yourself into that place where she is already in that flow. She's already seeing what's possible. She's already loving her business even more than she is now. She's already focusing on the good stuff rather than the stuff that is hard, that is challenging, that is heavy,
Hmm.
and leaning in to that place where money already exists. And when you can get yourself into that place and you start your day excited about the money that's there for you, the clients that are there for you, that the marketing can be easy, can you see how that creates a whole different energy?
100%.
Mm.
Because not only what I see that as an entrepreneur, you have to be kind of fast, but also very patient. And I think nowadays, like we get very impatient very, very quickly, and that can
Yes.
set like it make us super frustrated at the beginning. Like at the
Yeah,
beginning is
it can
always
be.
hard. Like
Yes.
just setting up this podcast has like took me so much like mental energy. I know it was just a few clicks, but like just like overcoming fear, overcoming like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
fail at this. It, I like this meaning of like money loves momentum, because the momentum kind of like gives you the kind of like faster heartbeat, like I don't know, like
That's it.
happiness,
Yeah, a spring
endorphins.
in your step,
Yeah.
it makes you feel more, I believe it makes you want to show up more. It makes you act from the place that it already is so, and acting from that place where you already have the results. Because, how would you be showing up if you already had the results that you wanted?
Right.
What content would you be writing? How would you be feeling? You'd be feeling more bold, more
Hmm.
audacious, more willing, more courageous. You would care less about what other people think. You would claim your title, even if you're not earning 6 figures in your business or 7 figures in your business. You would claim the title of, 6-figure marketing coach. Why? Because then what that does is that enables you to become the human magnet for the kind of clients that you want. Whereas if we just say that, you're a marketing coach, well, that's great, but there's a dime a dozen of the marketing coaches. But when you get to claim that, that if people follow your strategy, that they can become 6-figure experts themselves, then what if you, from that place, and if you claimed that,
Hmm.
it enables you to step into and show up as the version of who you want to be now.
I love that. Yes. You
Call
know,
her in. Like,
I
come
mean,
on,
just
here she is. I'm a 7-figure marketing coach, or whatever it is you want to claim. So what would you claim if you could say right here, right now, that if you were showing up as the version of who you want to become, but you're calling her in now, who is this the version of you?
right. I've been thinking about that a lot. I myself haven't really realized that. I even might name my podcast like aspiring CMO, because like I have this self-doubt, like I might not be a CMO one day, which is
Isn't that interesting?
which is pretty awful to say out loud, but here I am. It's my podcast, I can say it, right?
Right.
And
Yeah, yeah. But
but
imagine
one
if you
day,
put
I'm really passionate, and I love marketing. I love starting projects and stuff. I have no problem
good.
talking to people. So the idea of combining both marketing and leadership, that's what's kind of drives me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And so what would be a word that you could put between aspiring and CMO that would call in the version of her that you want to be?
I would be not just. I would just take aspiring out, and I would be, I don't know, a successful 6-figure business owner, and also my own
Right?
CMO then. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
Something
yeah.
along those lines. I love
So
this
what if
question
what if you
though.
call what if it was what if it was 7-figure CMO podcast? Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
7 figures CMO podcast, and do you think then that what that's going to do is that's going to call in, it's going to invite you to have more momentum, to shift more into that, and to very quickly have to overcome any of the self-doubt, any
Yeah.
of the unworthiness, any of the part of you that doesn't believe it? Because what happens then is that you just grow stronger because you're owning it.
Hmm. Is it like manifestation then? Like, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. It's probably one of the biggest shifts that happened for me. And when I started to have massive cash months for myself and for my clients, when this piece really landed, when when you begin to create money from this energy, when you start to have fun with it,
Hmm.
I think that is the other piece of this, is that, showing up from where you are going, not from where you are now, but also how can you play with that energy so that you've got that momentum, and like you said, that spring in your step. How would you take care of yourself What would you say to yourself? Uh, how would you be willing to move? What events would you be willing to do? Who would you be brave enough to call onto this podcast show?
Right. Yes. Yes. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, uh, is there any like practice you do for this when you teach your students and your clients about momentum? Like, do you write a weekly journal on this, or any tip where not just me but listeners could start to drive more energy
Just
to our goals?
yeah, absolutely. So I very much believe on the concepts of setting an intention. So sitting in that place of when you wake up every day, I'm going to assume that you already have created your vision for what you want.
Hmm.
And what you do is for 67 seconds, so not even that long, 67 seconds, you take a deep breath. You sit in that place of knowing. You visualize yourself already in that place. And I like to, in that 67 seconds, I like to invite my clients to imagine that what they're doing is that they've got their eyes closed, they're taking beautiful deep breaths, and they literally can imagine money. Just so if you just close your eyes for a moment and just imagine it, you're sitting on your bed in your bedroom, and dollar bills, like $100 bills, are just like flowing through the door, and they're flowing through the window, and they're filling up your bed, and the money is coming to you. It's finding you, and you're throwing the money up, and you're playing with it, and you're calling out to other people in the house. It's arrived, it's here, it's finding me, money's moving, money's coming to me. And what that does is it gets you really excited about the money that's here. And then you and journal when you come out of that. If you can take 3 minutes and journal how that makes you feel and what you want to create and your content as a result of feeling this way, that becomes really, 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 really powerful.
So back to this manifestation, I was always skeptical about this because I was always like, okay, but what can I do, like that immediately results in something. And the more I talk to entrepreneurs and more I talk to amazing people like you, like this whole concept of manifestation comes back either in a form of like imagining, dreaming, um, wishing, and I think I'm trying to learn more about this too myself. How can I manifest so that I put myself in a better position? And that I think some money listeners can take that too.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think what I've learned along the way is that you've got to have your goal for your business, right? And let's just say that your goal is to be in overflow every month, right? So maybe you want to put a figure on it, or maybe you just want to say that you want to be in overflow. And what is overflow for you? Whatever it is for you. And then if you start your day from this perspective of calling the money in, and then you take 3 minutes to journal about it, or write in your gratitude journal. So what you're doing is you're elevating your frequency. That's calling it in. That's activating you into a new place, a new feeling. And then what I've seen is it doesn't really matter what strategy you use, because from that place you might feel inspired to make a video. From that place you might be inspired to update your website. From that place you might be inspired to write a long post. From that place you might be inspired to start a podcast show. Right? It doesn't matter about what strategy you use. Find a strategy that gets you excited, that you are willing to invest in, that's going to elevate you, that's going to move you from your vision and your value and into the potency of what you deliver, how you deliver it, and how you show up. And when you can harness that power, I think that's the conviction, that's the confidence that we need to bring into our business, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
Thank you so much for all these tips. Like I think the listeners can also learn like how to manifest, how to bring more positive and like positivity and empowerment to our daily life. And you've talked so much about empowerment. However, I know that behind every success story, there's something that like just, that was a catalyst of starting it. What was your catalyst? What was the the, I don't know, setback or like major event that make you
Mm,
do what you do today?
Thanks for asking that. It is important. I made the mistake along the way of I spent a lot of money on training myself, growing myself, getting myself into the right state. And then when business got hard, and let's face it, along the way, business does get hard. And when I was what I call then, and I say it now, 3 feet from gold, like I was literally about to crack it in the world and in the market, uh, I I gave up and I did the absolute opposite of what I taught my students. And when I say I gave up, when I got invited to go and be the CEO for an 8-figure online media company where they were going to pay me a salary and take care of me, and I didn't have to go out there and do the hustle, and I didn't have to go out there and market myself. I said yes. And so for 4 years I stepped away from my business. And what was what was what was crucial about this learning was that I actually felt like a small part of me was dying inside
Oh no.
because I wasn't doing my business. I literally felt like I didn't feel valued. I never felt really satisfied. I felt like I was a puppet being pushed around in a box. I felt uninspired. I felt empty, and I felt like it was actually stripping me of my energy. And the money was no longer enough. And what I started to do was I started to re-listen to that voice inside of me. That voice that was telling me that I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to make an impact. And then I realized that actually I went to a 1 day yoga retreat, and at the yoga retreat they invited us to journal and to go
Mhm.
into a meditation, and I saw myself back in doing what I love for myself, back into the teaching, back into running my own business, back into having my own consultancy practice, back into having my own mastermind groups and all of the things I used to do. And I can honestly say that I got a coach, and it was a solid investment of my time and my money and my energy. But what happened was that I I remembered who I was. You know I realized that actually I had to listen to my heart, and I could no longer ignore that. And, saying goodbye to a salary was, that was challenging. But I had to back myself. I had to believe in myself. And I actually genuinely believe now that I had to go through that process. You know
Mhm.
how life gives you these lessons along the way?
Mhm.
Right. I think I had to go through this process so that I could value what I do even more, and so that I could see for myself what it's like when we're 3 feet from gold and we're tempted to give up. And now I can speak from authority, from experience, that uh, I can help women to see, is that the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Or would it be better if you stuck at it and followed these techniques and do the work and show up consistently with conviction and with confidence, and get you into the match for your clients and for your business and your marketing? Uh, yeah, I feel like it's been a really valuable lesson that I'm really now very, very grateful I went through.
Wow. I'm very grateful for you to share this story because like when you are in your 20s and you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think many of my friends and myself are in these shoes. And recently I was just battling with myself whether should I continue this online world and trying to make something by myself, or should I just apply for a job? I mean, why not? It's
It's
give
very
you
real.
salary. It give you
Yeah.
salary. It's consistent until I met Nicole, and Nicole
Yeah.
was kind of like reshaping my head around money.
Yeah. Good.
And it's and now that hearing your story is
Mm,
literally what I was scared of at one point.
mm,
And this is why
mm.
I never hit apply or like starting a CV,
Excellent.
things
Excellent.
like that. Yeah.
Honestly, if anyone listening is in that place themselves, then I think that one of the key things for you to do is to trust yourself. And if you showed up in your own business with the same consistency, with the same discipline, and with the same structure as you do if you had a job, and you put that many hours into your what it is that you love to do, it has to grow. It has to happen
Yes, yes.
because you're putting your heart and soul into it, because you're focused on it, because you know where you're going, because you're feeling the potency of that, and because you're backing yourself.
Hmm.
It's when people give up,
Yeah.
it's when they stop trying, it's when they tell themselves, oh, it's not working. Well, it's not
Hmm.
working because you're not working at it.
Yeah.
So my suggestion to any of you listening that to this later is that get really clear around what you want. The freedom, the flexibility, the cash flow, the clients. Get really clear, and then every single day follow the process and show up for your audience. Practice gratitude. Get yourself into the frequency of feeling the money flowing to you. Write in a way that connects with your ideal clients. Show up online. Be brave. Be audacious. And back yourself.
What are the channels like if somebody would like to contact you, or do you have a Facebook group? You mentioned that you have a mastermind group. Anything you would like to
Yes.
share, please?
Oh, that's great. Perhaps we can drop the links in the show notes. But I have a group, a free group called Businesswoman on a Mission,
Mm-hmm.
and that's for women who are high vibe and want to get this kind of energy on a daily basis. So it's a great place to come to. And we've got an amazing group of women there. And yes, I have a mastermind group. I call it the Miracle Maker Mastermind,
Oh,
and we're
okay.
on our way to making 7 figures. And I state that because that's where we're going, and we're creating people's businesses from that place, and it's wild, it's fun, it's energetic, it's vibrant, and money loves that.
Yes, yes. As we say, money loves momentum. I love
Yeah,
that
that's it.
quote.
Money loves momentum. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm also doing a free 5-day challenge on helping businesswomen on a mission to get really clear around their offer. So if you're listening to this later, we'll have the recordings available, but it's starting May 22nd to the 26th.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll make that available online for people to come and join us if they'd like to.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing. The 5-day challenge sounds very cool. I will
Yeah.
link everything down in the show notes, and hope you
Awesome.
guys enjoy this episode. All right.
Thanks.
Goodbye. Bye, Catherine.